Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Hub back in the video today. And today we're going to be talking about if the Houston Rockets should trade Jalen Green away. We're talking about the guy who was just a couple years ago was drafted number 2 overall. Yes, Jalen Green has had his struggles this year, but I think with the way Jalen Green has played recently, I was more on the no side of trading Jalen Green before. Uh, you know, all this sudden change of play in the last 5 games with Jalen. Now I'm 100% we cannot trade Jalen Green. I know there's a chance that there will be a stretch of games where Jalen starts to struggle again, and that will just have to be our loss. But uh, the reason why I'm talking about this, and I didn't think I'd talk about this after his performance last night: 34 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. Arguably, you can say that one of his best all-around game. It's maybe I wouldn't say the best game of his career, but his best all-around game of his career. And the next day, just about 2 o'clock today, it was reported Jalen Green has generated a little buzz as a trade candidate. And sure, teams are interested in him, but just because teams are interested in him doesn't mean, that doesn't mean the Rockets will trade him. But his name has popped around throughout the trade deadline nearing. But the Rockets are for sure that they're not letting go of Jalen Green. I've said throughout the last couple weeks that it will have to take a perfect deal for you to let go of Jalen Green, a all-star caliber player or an all-star player for you to decide. All right, we're getting rid of Jalen Green, and I think it has to be an eye-dropping trade for you to let go of him. And what he's done in the last 5 games, I think he's shown you. I'm still a good player. I might not be your franchise player. Sengun might be our cornerstone. He might be, he might run the offense, but we can both be good at the same time. Look at how good both of them played on Monday night in the Lakers win when we beat the crap out of the Lakers. 31 points for Sengun, a double-double for Sengun, a double-double for Jalen Green with 34 and 12. Sengun had 31 and 12. Jalen had 34 and 12. I thought both players played extremely good basketball. Sengun had a near triple-double. Jalen had a near triple-double. Sengun also had 7 assists as well. So, both guys had 19 rebounds and assists. They both were over 30 points with 31 for Sengun and 34 for Jalen. They both can be, our best players. Sure, I think Sengun is more important to this team, but Jalen, for sure, I think when he is taking more shots, when I think Fred VanVleet is a little bit less involved. You saw that Monday against the Lakers. Only 4 field goal attempts for Fred VanVleet. I think when Cam Whitmore is getting more minutes and Fred VanVleet's shot attempts are down, Jalen Green is playing better basketball. Sure, you can keep the ball in VanVleet's hands, but I think for him to just move the offense around and less shots for VanVleet, I think is actually probably better for this team. And I'm not saying that just because he's struggling. Even when he's playing well, I think him just being a regular point guard and being a facilitator for this offense, like another second facilitator, because you have Sengun already. Crazy to think that VanVleet's not even really yes, he is the number 1 facilitator, but Sengun does run that offense from time to time, or more than time to time, and I think just less shot attempts for VanVleet. Not only does it make Jalen a better player, but I think this team is more successful if VanVleet shot attempts go down. And right now he's going through a bad slump, and I think that might be the best thing for the team, for VanVleet to be more focused on the whole team than himself. But I would love for VanVleet to get out of his slump, because when he is playing good offensively for us, we are a good team. when he is shooting the ball well from 3, which he is clearly not doing right now. Shot 0 for 4 from 3. All of his field goal attempts were from 3 on Monday. On Saturday against the when we played the Nets, 1 for 9. I believe on Friday against the Hornets, it was 3 for 9. Not terrible, but not great. So if you look at his last 3 games, he has shot 4. I think it's 4 for 22 from 3. So VanVleet is just playing terrible right now. But in our last game, he did have 14 assists. So he is still doing a good job facilitating the offense. But Jalen's playing great right now. There's no way in hell the Rockets should trade Jalen Green. I think it would be a big mistake. Because I just see if you trade him, you move on from Jalen Green, he's going to have some great success elsewhere. He's going to shine if you let him go. And sure, yes, you might get an all-star caliber player. I think it would have to be like the Domantas Sabonis Tyrese Halliburton trade for me, for the Rockets to trade Jalen Green, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm not saying trade for Domantas Sabonis or Tyrese Halliburton. I'm saying that trade where it was like a win-win for both teams. The Kings got a big man, which they needed, and an all-star player. Yes, they had to give up a really good young talent in Tyrese Halliburton. Look what he's doing now for the Pacers. But that's one of those trades in NBA history that you don't see often, that the trade has actually worked out for both teams. Look how good the Pacers have been this year. Look how good Halliburton's been this year. Look how good the Kings were last year and how solid they've been this year and how good Sabonis has been for the Kings as well. Both teams have really benefited from that trade. And I think it'd have to be a trade like that where that team, whoever's taking on Jalen Green, it's really helping them by getting, Jalen, and whoever we're getting. It has to be a win-win trade for both teams, I think, for Jalen Green trade to happen. I think it has to be an all-star player for a deal to happen, but that's really just what I'm thinking. But let me know your thoughts on Jalen Green potentially getting traded. I think with the way he's played recently in the last 5 games, 27 points per game, 7.2 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game, a 48% field goal percentage. There is no way, in my opinion, you're trading Jalen Green at this year's trade deadline. Maybe if the struggles appear again, you move him in the offseason, but as of right now, no way. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.